Yo, Apexxology, man. Peace and blessings, man. Real quick today, I'm on the move, man. So y'all, if y'all see, y'all notice, man, that I'm kind of on the move, man. It's raining outside today. Got the rain gear on. Star Wars hat on. It was Wars in Heaven. Check Revelations. I think it's 10. And y'all see this right here. This is the good side. That's the angel Michael and them who went and fought against the dragon, right? And this is the dark side. And that's the balance I was telling y'all about. This is the dark side, the good side. Your brain is right in the middle. You got to know how to, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got to know how to work this. And that's the wars that was in heaven. Star Wars is the wars that was in heaven. So it's Sunday, March 10th. And I wanted to drop on y'all real quick because I do have to go. But I wanted to leave a Sunday lesson to send to Chrissy to send back out to y'all. Hopefully this lesson can get up by 12 o'clock. It is kind of early. I wanted to speak to y'all about chemical trails. The true way to say that will be tropospheric aerosol program, geoengineering program, which is the disguise of how to control the chemical trails that they have fallen upon us in the form of I'm losing thoughts. The deposits of aluminum that's in the air and barium, the ppm, is just crazy. We're finding over the government regulation of aluminum in your atmosphere. Atmosphere is a thin layer. Government regulations is 1,000 parts per million, and I think we right now at over 50,000 parts per million. When you say parts per million, is if I'm speaking of aluminum, I'm speaking of the deposits of the particles. Or the particles, if you take a unit of air and you test it, it will test at well over 50,000 ppm part per million. And the barium that's in the air alone is toxic, is high, and it's in the trees. It's contaminating the trees as well as the soil life. And so this chemical trail thing is really, really, really important. It's really something that we need to watch. I am actually starting a program. I've started already. It's called the Pope program. And in reference to that, meaning the Pope represents power. And for you that want to join this next movement, my Pope program has a SWAT program, has like a militant presence. The Pope program is the Protectors of the Planet Earth, POPE, my Pope program. Who wants to join me to be a protector of the planet Earth? And in that, I offer a SWAT program, SWWAAT program. The SWAT program is dealing with the soil, the water, the wildlife, the air, the aquatic life, and the trees. Trees leading to forest life. So that's SWAT. Once you join my Pope program, you're saying you're joining in to be a protector of the planet Earth. That's what the Pope program is, POPE. We have shirts and everything. And in that, you can take on whichever one of those things that you want to take on that has to do with environment, that has to do with saving this planet. SWAT. And that will be the second action after you join the Pope program, will be the SWAT program. That way you can study soil, water, you know, and things like that. Wildlife. You can air, aquatic life, or the trees or the forest. And those are the steps we need to take and to move ahead, because I don't understand. I read Dr. York a long time ago. He put out a book called Conflict Between the Gods, and I remember I rushed to it. I said, oh, wow, conflict between the gods. I couldn't understand the gods going at it. And that's what I see today. I see a lot of the conscious nation, Israelites, all of them debating the gods, whether it be the Nubians, whether it be, I put myself in it. I'm not, we should not be arguing this, debating this knowledge. And that's what I'm telling you. Knowledge has bred ignorance. It's enlightenment and understanding and wisdom is what you need to move on. You need to be enlightened enough to have the sense enough to not be arguing about Africa's slave trade, or this, that, where the black man is powerful, or we from here. I mean, the white man is the devil. I mean, all of that is over with, man. That was a section that we went through, and it's just not something that we should be concentrating on or giving our attitudes towards. We should be into the planet. If you're a true God, I'm trying to wonder why you're not teaching your people or leading them toward planetary things of survival. Why are you having them making a bed in a burning house? The planet is being destroyed. We're being hit with planet depopulation. They're trying to get it down to under 500 million people on the planet from billions. And that's a lot of murder. And we're not teaching these children nothing about what's happening to their soil. The soil is being contaminated and toxidized and it's toxins in it, not enough acid for it to produce or grow anything because of the chemical trails coming down through the skies, and it's also hitting us. And it's dumbing a generation down. Between your cell phone offering you so much memory, between you microwaving your food and putting your cell phone up to your thing all day, you're cancerizing yourself, you're killing yourself, and you're cutting off your information, and you're beginning to get Alzheimer's and memory lapses. And you got to remember all the stuff at work, you got to remember stuff at home, and these chemical trails you're breathing in, you don't understand that there's aluminum in the atmosphere. And this aluminum is government regulated aluminum in the air would be at 1,000 parts per million. But we're well over 50 times that in the air, and nobody's stopping us. The aluminum in the atmosphere is ppm tests per millions. And I don't understand that in the units. So I mean, if you go through the whole planet, because they're going from north to west to east, they're spraying these chemical trails all over. Remember when we was young, we used to look up, if you're a little older and you think that was skyscrapers, and we see the jets going past fast and leaving them, that was chemical trails then. That was it then. That's how when you see that and it's darkening the skies, the atmosphere is a thin layer. What it's doing is it's covering our atmosphere, and it's deflecting natural sunlight. So they have 149 probe lights that they put up that's shooting down on Earth that we might be thinking is the sunlight, and it's not. Because through these years of these chemical toxins in the air, they have to fall to Earth, and they're going into all the Earth's reservoirs that are contaminating our water first. And then it's contaminating the soil, so the soil cannot reproduce because it's too high in barium and aluminum, and the pH levels to plant something should be 5.0 or 5.5. We're well over 6 and 7 of the probable of hydrogen. The probability of hydrogen, your pH level, the probability of hydrogen is very high, so we won't be able to grow nothing because the seeds are being contaminated or being sterilized. So 10 or 20 years, there will be not even good seeds out here to reproduce. And then they're going to offer you seed programs, a place where you can go buy your seeds and stuff like that. So they're doing that. If you check into it, they're attacking farming life. They're making it hard on farmers. And once they do all this, they can control everything. So this is what the chemtrail effect is doing. It's dumbing you down because we don't understand why we're forgetting. We're breathing in a lot of ppms per millions of aluminum and barium and other different things. I'm just not going to waste time saying too many elements that's in the air, because then that turns into, I would have to start sharing and teaching about it. But check out what I'm saying, and the atmosphere is being attacked. The wildlife is being attacked. The animals now can't survive. The trees can't survive. If you go outside and take some of the bark off the tree and test it for aluminum, get a test tube, go outside when it rains, get some raindrops in your test tube, air filter it, and then know how to test and see what's in your water. Because this is the water that's hitting the reservoirs and all mountainsides, and hikers and everything are drinking this poison water. Your water that you're buying from the store, your Deer Park, your Evian, your Fuji, all of this is no good. It's just as bad as putting dirt inside of a bowl of water and putting a little dirt in there, washing your hands in it. And it's a solution I can use to put back in that water and make it clear, but the dirt is still in there. And I can put a fancy bottle with a fancy mountain and some running water and make you think this is good water, but it's no more than been high concentrated bacterial water, but it's just being sold to you as Deer Park with a mountain of spring water. But that's not it. You're killing yourself from the water. I've actually stopped drinking water if it's not distilled water, because I'm checking into this. Body 70% water. Do we actually need water? I come from the sun, so I'm really checking into that. And I have to ask myself, why are the gods not teaching this? If you're God, you're supposed to be into protecting the planet. If you go to Genesis, one of the first things so-called God gave Adam was what? Dominion over the planet Earth, not Africa, just the whole planet. So you should be a pope. You should be a protector of the planet Earth. That kind of pope, not a religious pope. A pope meaning a protector, and that's what I need. I need popes. I need people to stand with me to help me drop these lessons and enlighten people what to do to go out and protect your planet, protect your wildlife, protect your plant life, protect your soil, protect your air, protect your water. I mean, because it's an attack on that alone. Forget about attack on the black man and rights and movement and civil rights and jobs and Trump and all that's political. That's making a bed, spending time over there is making a bed in a burning house. Because even if you got everything you want by way of law, what if they tell you that all wildlife is gone, all soil is contaminated, we can't grow anything no more. The sun has been blocked out by all of these years and years of spraying the atmosphere. That's what the true God should be telling y'all about. All this conflict between the gods. Dr. York, he had these books out, and I wondered what that was. And I'm seeing it today. I'm seeing all these gods with this knowledge of self and this or that. And they're doing nothing but arguing, the conscious nation. They're doing nothing but arguing and scaring the shit out of people. And I don't want to come off like that. I don't want to be known as a part of that, although I love them brothers for being conscious of something. But I just want y'all, my followers, my people that join me, watch the people with all this enlightenment that's not telling you earthly stuff. He can't be God if he's not speaking or protecting the planet Earth. Okay? They're not gods. If they're not telling you what's happening to the trees, if they're not telling you what these chemical spraying, what they're spraying is doing to your minds and to life, period. And y'all over here talking about what Trump is doing, what R. Kelly is doing, what this is doing, you know, y'all, even with the R. Kelly thing, black women, y'all know all your life about Catholic church. This is a history of Catholic priests sexually molesting children, real children. Like R. Kelly said, real children. You know, right now, we've been watching Lethal Weapon 1, 2, 3, and 4, all these movies where they show y'all these people being brought over and really in containers, really chained up. It's a slave trade going on right now. And y'all are attacking R. Kelly? Did you ever get up and walk against any Catholic priest? Did you ever go down? Are you going down right now to protest the children who's been found in containers and that's been kidnapped and raped and sold off right now? Do y'all think Get Out was fake? Are y'all protesting that? Are y'all protesting right now and condemning all Catholic churches that y'all not allowed to be around children? Why isn't there a march for that? Why is your energy not there? But a black man do something so-called and this woman helps him out. And like I said, innocent to proven guilty. I'm not down with R. Kelly, so I don't want you to think that. I think if he's doing that to the children, it's a sickness. But I am into that man is innocent until he's proven guilty. Because what he's trying to tell you is he's being set up for extortion. So y'all got to look at that, man, and don't be so fast to condemn people. You understand that? Because remember what I told you on the other program. You may be condemned. So if you didn't march against the Catholic school, if you didn't put this much energy, when you hear about the Catholic people raping people or any other rape cases at a high levels, Clinton getting his dick sucked in the Oval Office, did you go out and march about that? Are y'all marching when y'all hear that these Catholic priests are raping these little boys? Are y'all twittering, making comments? Not one comment, I bet, about nothing outside of R. Kelly. But you got R. Kelly comments. All right, now let's move on. But I'm just giving y'all something to think of. Stop letting people pick your enemies. You understand? No, if R. Kelly did that to the children, we condemn him. But don't let the white man condemn our people for us. We know who to condemn when we want to condemn them. Okay, let's move on and to why these gods are not teaching you this, these sciences. Maybe they don't know it. Maybe they can't break down pH levels. Maybe they don't understand deposits of barium. Maybe they don't understand elemental deposits into the atmosphere and what they're giving off per millions. Maybe they don't understand that. I'm not going to drop too much because it'll go, beyond your realm of awareness. But I want you to be aware of it, what's going on. Stop drinking this water. Boil your water. You do better boiling water and saving the gallons and filling it back up with its own distilled water. And watch this African thing that's going on. You're not Africans. Africans may be our distant cousins, but they do not like us. They do not love us, and they do not like us. We're not on their agenda. They're in the UN. They're down there, but they're not fighting for us. We don't have a spot down there. They're not trying to make communications better between us so-called American Africans or whatever and the Africans over there so we can get a relationship going. They don't care nothing about you. In fact, I want to ask y'all something. Why do you think when you open history it's called the African slave trade? Why is it called the African slave trade and not the European slave trade? It's called the African slave trade because it was the Africans who sold the niggas off to the Europeans into slavery. There's a difference between Africans and Negroes. Who they called Negroes were the solar people I trust. Were the people who lived on the outskirts around Africa, who was the agriculturists, who was into the wildlife, who was into planting, it was into pottery and things of that nature. That's what we did. With no sin, with nothing. We were just agriculturists. We was into protecting the planet. We were popes, protectors of planet Earth. They gave up our coordinates. Coordinates, and the white man came in and got us. Y'all use your minds. Use common sense. Don't let them show you roots and believe that that's true. You mean 2 or 3 boats came over, they jumped off, and they was able to just take people? No, the black man here, the African, sold you out. That's why they want you to make you think you're African. If you're African, you're part of being a sellout. Because it was the Africans that knew their own land, knew where certain other beings were, like Nubian type beings. But it wasn't called Africans even back then. But those Africans that were called Africans that were conquered by a white man called Africa, they were the ones that became Africans and began giving up the real Nubians or the real Egyptians or the people of gold color or bronze color that was living off the land. And these beings would be, how y'all would say esoterically, pickled shaped or formed Nemo beings, or beings that came down and lived by the water and taught the Incans, the Aztecs and all that true astrology. Taught the Dogon tribe and all of that true astrology. They had children here. And a lot of these people that were given up in the slave trade were from these Aztec and Incas and these kind of tribes. They were not African people. And they were dealt off by Africans, giving them coordinates so the white man was able to go in and then get them and put them on ships. You mean to tell me they went all the way in and there's miles back to the thing? How was this coordinated? How was this organized? Who let them come on through and put them on the ships now? It was Africans that put you into slavery. That's why it's called the African slave trade. So y'all keep on and not using your mind and thinking that boats, ships, 6 months, and this terrible sea conditions, everybody on that boat would have died. Everybody's neck would have been broke. If you 6 months chained up in layers and layers and they show you those slave strips, that's all by design. That's drawn up to make you believe that, to educate you on that. And what can you do from watching Roots but hate white people? And now they got you where they want you, in a hate state and not in a God state. Because who won't hate people after watching Roots? Who won't hate, what black person of color won't hate a white person after watching Roots? Naturally. So why do you think they keep showing it to each generation? But what they're showing you is lies. A lot of it is lies. They didn't bring you over here on no ships like that. The slave trade was about rape. But it was about the white man saving his genetic. It was about him living on past 65, because the human being dies off around 60 to 65, and that's what he shared with you. So in order for him to live, he has to go into you and have a baby by our woman. And then that child will come out and they're naming a new race called the Milano race. And that child by that black and white couple is called a Milano race. And that's what's happening. And that's what he had to do. He had to bring you here to rape your woman, and then the woman had to be impregnated by the man. Just what's going on today, so they can get a new generation. And that's how they get from us. That's how they get the God seed. That's why a white woman wants your man, sister. And my brother, that's why the white woman wants you. She wants you to impregnate her with that God baby so they can live on past 65, their child and their genetics. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're living past 65 now through Milano children. Through us, through our boost, through us giving them a boost. And y'all have to watch this and wonder why the gods are not teaching y'all this. Wonder why the gods are not teaching y'all that you can go up to a bark of a tree and see that it's dead. Look at all these dead trees. It's not even, before fall you would see all of this. They're just dying. It's in the air. It's in what you're breathing. Stop drinking this water. Stop thinking you're doing something with all that Deer Park in your kitchen. With all that fancy water and all, you can't come from Costco's with all that water. All that water is bacteria, and all that water that's going to go in you is going to help you get cancer. And all you should do is boil your water or find distilled water, but you won't find distilled water because it's healthy for you, so they won't make it accessible for you in regular grocery or convenient or variety stores. You won't be able to go get a 16-ounce bottle of it. It's too healthy. You got to go to supermarkets. So ask yourself, why are the gods not teaching you? Why is the conscious nation Why is the conscious nation constantly teaching you to hate about African movements or political things, what Trump is doing, what laws are going to be passed? Who gives a fuck? Find someone who has a Pope program and an earth protecting program, and that's God, and that's who you want to, put your chips into. Because I'm about to share with y'all a whole lot of stuff. Be careful what y'all learn in the African slave trade. It's not what y'all think. That's why they call it the African slave trade. The Africans traded the niggers into slavery. There's a difference between Africans and there's a difference between Negroes. Okay? Negroes was on the outskirts of what you call Africa. You were given it all. But the boule, meaning the higher up blacks who first made these deals with these white men, are the ones how they are in America. They were your Dick Gregorys. They were your I hate to say it, they were the NAACP. All your reverends, your leaders, Dr. King, Dr. Martin Luther King, all of your leaders were handpicked by these Europeans and made to be put up here. And so that we can be looking at them as their leaders. Like Dick Gregory was some guru leader. No, Dick Gregory was one of the biggest sellouts there were. If you listen to his knowledge, Dick Gregory spent time teaching you how powerful the Illuminati was, scaring you about the white man. And he had information that he shouldn't have known. That I knew by listening to him. He sat with the elites and they gave him this information for him to look like some type of wizard or guru to us. Where's Dick Gregory dropping all of this stuff from? Yeah, right. Where is he dropping it from? It's not in the books. He's getting it right from his man. It's like Jay-Z gets a lot of stuff from Warren Buffett. I'm not trying to play with you. Warren Buffett is a billionaire. Close to 100 billion. Has nothing to do with Jay-Z. That's just his little boy. Takes him out on dates. All your leaders are called boule. Boule meaning they get a doctrine. They get a pantheism from the white man. They get an agenda. And they look like to us leaders, but they're already bought and paid for. And that's Dick Gregory on down. God bless him. And there's a lot of them out there like that. So you got to watch out. Remember this. Selling your soul is not the devil. It just doesn't have to be the devil coming down with a pen. Sign this contract, money, and you give your body to him. No. Selling your soul could have nothing to do with seeing a devil. Selling your soul is you doing something on a day-to-day basis that you know you don't want to do, but you're doing it for the love of money. That's selling your soul. So working people that argue every day, that get up and go to work. I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it, but the paycheck is good. Took a job far, you got to go here, there, but the paycheck is good. That's selling your soul. Your soul needs to be comfortable. Your soul needs to rest. Your soul needs to do what it wants to do. And if you compromise that, you're selling your soul. Has nothing to do with a devil or contract or none of that. That's another way to do it. But you getting up every day knowing you don't want that job, but you just got to do it, and you disguising it by saying, well, I got to do what I got to do. Yeah, what you're doing is being aware of your soul. There's some people who can't keep their mouth closed. They have to speak themselves. They have to express themselves. They have to sooner or later tell you about yourself. And because they can't compromise who they are. Some people just quit. They say, I just can't do it another day. Because you're dealing with your soul. And once you're making that deal, knowing you don't want to go to work, you're dealing with your soul. And you're selling your own soul for the love of politics or this world and what you got to do to get by in this world. And never forget that. It has nothing to do with actually having to see a devil. There were wars in heaven, Star Wars. This is good versus evil. This whole thing is good versus evil. This is the dark side. You cannot be scared of the dark side. This wouldn't make a complete hat if the dark side. This is the dark side. And these are the wars in heaven. Open revelations. Okay? And you'll see it. So, if you got evil, you got good. Like I tell you, cut off the negative side of your battery and try to go somewhere if negativity is so bad. You just got to know how to cancel it out. Okay? So remember that if the gods are not teaching you all this kind of stuff, what's going on with the earth, if they're not creating earth programs to protect the earth, they're not doing the work of the Most High. And that's what I think. And y'all got questions on things that I said about the African slave trade, y'all look that up. Don't ask me the questions. I can only lead y'all to water. I cannot make y'all drink it. I definitely can lead y'all and ask y'all to join me. I'm going to be dropping a lot of topics that I want y'all to say, well, yeah, I like the SWAT program. I'm going to deal with the soil. I'm going to go study soils so that you can text me and teach me something. All right? It's the Gmail thing, man. formofonegod@gmail. Join me. Bring some enlightenment to the program. FORMOF, the number 1. formofonegod@gmail.com. formofonegod@gmail.com. FORMOF, the number 1. Okay? Form of one, God @gmail.com. Form of one, God formof@gmail.com. And that's the number 1, all right? FORMOF, the number 1, GOD@gmail.com. And you can comment, you can tell me what your plan is, you can, leave a number where you want someone to call back. We answer some questions. And I want to know if you want to join the SWAT program, well, the Pope program, and then you'll pick from the SWAT program what you want to get into, air, whatever, the agriculture, the wildlife, whatever you're interested in. I'll share what you want it. So begin to get your children telescopes and microscopes. Change the toys that you buy your children. If you know your child got an Xbox and all that, they're out while they're at school, run out and get a game that might be a sci-fi game. You never know, he might like it, he or she might like it. Find out what they got in that room, the PlayStation, the Xbox, and go find out what kind of educational games they got in. Just the way they sit there with the basketball, football, you never know. You slide them a science program or something, and they might start just doing something different, man. Buy a periodic table, put it in your child's room. Put a globe in your child's room. Put a map up in your child's room. You got to take over and do something different instead of giving your child away to a tablet all day and to a babysitter and to nursery bad food. You're killing your own child because you're not spending the day with your child. You're spending the day away from your child. By the time 7 o'clock comes, your child is pushed off somewhere. A lot of these children are 6 or 7 in the morning, 12 and 13 years old, taking their own self to school because their mother has sold their soul, father has sold their soul, and they have to be away from that child to work. And the child is something you love the most. But by 7 o'clock in the morning, you're away from your child because you got to go to work. And your child is now being raised by someone else. You don't know what that person is. You don't know what that person do. That teacher was fucking all night, sucking dick all night, probably jerking a nigga off all night. That man, probably a homo, the teacher, probably a Satanist. You don't know who you handing your child to. So you ask yourself, during the course of a day, how many hours are you with your child or how many hours is somebody else with your child, the child you love so much? All right? So ask yourself why the gods are battling, why they're not coming together and teaching you stuff like this. Be careful of the gods that's not teaching you about the Pope program, about protectors of the planet Earth. They're teaching you about fixing up. It's just crazy. The bed is burning. Everything is burning. The house is on fire. And we're trying to go to politics and things like that. So I have to go. Today is Sunday, March 10th. I just wanted to leave y'all with that. Every Sunday I wanted to do something for y'all. I'm trying to think now before I move out of here that I forget anything. But anyway, man, get into yourselves more, get into the God program more. And again, Gmail me if y'all want to, get down with the program, nothing crazy and stuff like that, man. And I'll put y'all onto the upper channel, man. But anyway, love is love. I'm just trying to make sure I didn't forget anything. We're being attacked. It's a chemical attack. It's causing Alzheimer's. Younger people are forgetting things. It's not going to be just old people forgetting things now. It's between that and your transmission just being cut. So don't have pre-thoughts to retire. Don't say I want to work hard and have it already presumed to sit in a lazy boy and do nothing because it's like going to the cemetery, man. You're dead. You just be dead. And we don't die at 65. He does. And slavery was about his survival. Was about him going in and raping you and conditioning the black man to have sex with his woman so that she can be impregnated. And they even go on as far as going straight to Africa. Look at Angelina Jolie. What is all of these celebrities doing? Adopting black children. I mean, come on, man. It's about the organs. These children are going to come up in car accidents or she drowned in a tub when she was 11. Yeah, you killed her, took the organs, and that's what it is. They ask you for their organs right out on your driver's license. What is this big thing with organs? It's just like the Jeffrey Dahmer thing. They will fool you and tell you these men are cannibals. But they'll show you the program. They're bringing all the body parts out. No, he was wrapping these body parts up to be sold to billionaire rich people. When you see certain car accidents, certain things that happen in life, you don't know what it is. It's a rich person that knows your medical records and that ordered you dead so that they can survive and take your heart. And that's why such and such came up in a car accident. That's why such and such was robbed and killed. That's why such and such went to the hospital and something just went wrong and then enhanced your death. And now the person who bought that gets your heart or organs, liver, whatever it is, because they have it through medical records. They don't have to take you right off the ship, like they say, and open your mouth and hold your dick and open you up and see how good you are. No, they can look at your medical records, see how healthy you are, and then order you dead. And you come up dead, mysteriously. because some billionaire somewhere wanted your body parts, because all your information is in the medical field, is in the doctor's office. You don't know your medical information. Your doctor do. So all these conscious movements, all these dudes with knowledge of self, ask them what's their blood type. They wouldn't be able to tell you. And that would be the ultimate knowledge of self, to know your own blood type. But they wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know your own blood type. Some of you will. And some of you wouldn't even know how to cut yourself or a petri dish and go in the microscope and take your own motherfucker and know your own blood type. You just won't be able to. Y'all don't even know what Rh negative blood is. Y'all know about O positive and things like this. Y'all just gotta wisen up, man, and get to the science of things, man. Remember Panther. Remember the girl on Panther, and you gotta get your daughters there and your sons there, man. Remember the last thing they said too, man. We gotta take over the science, man. So we gotta stop going to technical programs and trying to be, nurses is good, but doing all these things just to make money when the earth is burning, man. We got forests that's burning because you got so much magnesium in the trees that's flammable, that so much stuff from the chemtrails is dropping into the trees. It's harder to put out the fires now because the chemicals being put in the trees is really making the fires burn more because it's producing fire. You know what I mean? And the oxygen, we're getting smothered. You know, it's just a lot, man, that y'all need to get into and really ask yourself, man, why are the gods not teaching this, man? Why are the gods not teaching planetary stuff, man? We're supposed to protect the planet, man, and the atmosphere and everything in on and around it, not worrying about the politics and civilizations being built and basketball games. It's just a shame our brothers is watching sports, and even our sports brothers, our rappers are tweeting back and forth, get the strap and beefing, and it's just sad. This is what we did when we got money. This is what we did when we got all these millionaires now, Mayweather on down, and all we do is go get clotheslines, sneakers, commercials, jewels, cars, and we're wasting life away. We're not dealing in elements, man. We're not dealing in elements and Pope and people protection of the planet Earth, man. All right? So Apexxology, think about what I said. Follow me. Let's get the subscriptions up. Press the subscribe button. If you're listening now, the YouTube channel is Apex Godbody. You go in and do not space anything. You type in APEXXGODBODY on YouTube and subscribe. And you can Gmail me at formofonegod@gmail.com. That's FORMOF, the number 1, GOD @gmail. And leave something nice, because I get a lot of crazy shit and I just block you out. But you can put a phone number in there. I'll call back. You can put suggestions in there. But I need people for this Pope program to help me protect the planet Earth. And a lot of things that Charles Manson was talking about. Go to a few of Charles Manson's. Don't let nobody pick your enemy. I'm not producing or promoting Charles Manson, but the man was a genius in a way. Go to some of his interviews. He even had a program called ATWA, air, water, and all that. And he was dropping a lot about what they're doing, and that's why they kept him in jail, because his following would have been big, and he would have had people coming out on this planet movement. And that's what it is, a movement to save the planet. Don't think I'm crazy. Go right now, check out a few Charles